I hope you can hear me. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear.
Good. I think we are recorded this. Let me check if I have. Yeah, I think it's the YouTube lecture is going on there. Okay. See, I wanted to give you a quick information about what I wrote just now on my channel. The karma theory, 2 lectures were sent on karma theory. The second one wasn't exactly the way K.S. Varadacharya Swami saw karma theory. So I deleted that lecture. I deleted the prior lecture also. So thing is, don't mistake me. If we are trying to give some information, right, based on whom we learn from, okay? We learn from one of the best people on earth, K.S. Varadacharya Swami, okay? And when we present that information, and if some other information is presented that conflicts with what K.S. Varadacharya Swami said, that affects the integrity of our channel. It then the ordinary people who have probably missed the K.S. Varadacharya's lectures would go take it as final. And is that what we want to present to the public? We are trying to record, edit and make public about 200 lectures of K.S. Varadacharya Swami. It's a lot of work. And we were not watching movies for last 20 years. We sat down, found out who K.S. Varadacharya Swami is. K.S. Varadacharya Swami didn't come to us and fall from sky and sit in front of us. We had to weed through hundreds of scholars. And when my own teacher, SM Srinivasacharya, who wrote 10 books on Shankara Ramanuja Madhva views, he suggested the best teacher I've ever learned under was N.T. Srinivas and K.S. Varadacharya. Then we picked up K.S. Varadacharya and tried to bring such unique information to our channels. If our channel gets very diluted with hundreds and thousands of things, it loses its charm. So don't mistake me when I say that, I don't entertain somebody else's view. What happens is I have a headache, actually. If somebody puts some information on my channel, I had to evaluate and say whether it is right or wrong. Why would I force myself into such time pressures? I don't have any time. Nityam sannihito mrityuhu. Every day I think that, oh, what if death comes to me today? That is a problem. I'm 67 years old. So I don't want any stress. Please don't mistake me. When I want to become harsh, I will become harsh. Because it's my time I'm working with. It's my life I'm working with. I have to be very careful about how much I spend and how I can de-stress myself and focus on the right things. Hope I am not offending anyone here. That's not my purpose. Everybody understand? Everything okay?
Fine, everything is okay.
All right. I don't want to spend more time on it. We should spend more time on our subject today. Let me pick up. One second, please. Okay. So far, what we have done is we have come to verse number 6. So we already covered this slide. I'm just repeating this because that way it gives you the connectivity with what we talked about yesterday. So there are two aspects of this verse. Estu sarvani bhutani atmanyevanu pashyati sarvabhuteshu chatmanam tatona vijugupsate. First, by seeing the Lord as a foundation upon which entire universe rests. And second, by seeing him as permeating everything in this universe. So these are the two aspects which are discussed here. Now I'm just going to go to the next one. Here comes the next verse. Esmin sarvani bhutani bhutani atmaiva bhut vijanataha tatra ko mohaha kashyakaha ekatvam anupashyataha. This is the next verse. What does the next verse mean? 7, verse 7 here. So here the obviously the Upanishad is little complex, right? It says yasmin. What does this yasmin mean? Yasmin in Sanskrit means in what? That's all it means. Sarvani bhutani means all the beings. Atmaiva abhut means it became Atman itself. Atmaiva means Atman itself. So all beings became Atman itself. Vijanataha, for a knowledgeable person. Tatra ko mohaha kashyakaha. There, yasmin means where, and tatra means there. There, where is sorrow, or where is delusion? Mohaha is delusion, shokaha is sorrow. Where is delusion? Where is sorrow? Ekatvam anupashyataha. He is seeing oneness. Ekatvam can be taken as oneness. Anupashyataha, he is seeing, realizing. So this is the meaning of the word. The word yasmin opens it to interpretation. Why? Because that yasmin, what does it really mean? So far, any doubts with this verse? Hello? Everybody okay?
Okay.
No questions,
Swami,
right?
Swami, Atma here means Paramātman, right?
Yes, Paramātman only here. There is only one Atma, this is Paramātman. Because Bhutani can refers to different beings, right? Bhutani refers to different beings. All beings and all entities becomes one Atman. And that Atman is Paramātma, that is Brahman. That's okay. Any other question?
Yasmin cannot be equated to Atma for this reason.
We will see how the Acharyas look at it, okay? We have to look at Acharya's views here. Let's look at the Acharya's views. That is the purpose here. And then we will figure out what this yasmin could mean, okay? It's easier that way. Because I don't have the knowledge to deny anything here. Yasmin is complex. Yasmin has made many Acharyas think very deeply. Okay, now we will take up the powerful Śaṅkarācārya's view. Okay, we will take up the Śaṅkarācārya's view on the previous verse first, not this verse. We'll first, because you need to set up the set up the context properly and how Śaṅkarācārya thinks. We have to figure this out. I'm going to come to this Sanskrit a little bit later. Let's see if I have some English version sitting here. This is the same 6th verse. I have, I can send you this text. This is actually an English text written by some guy who used to be a student, or who was a student of this Sachidanandendra Swami, and he has written it in English. It's a little complex English, but it is good enough. Okay, a simple translation here is, this verse is the previous verse. Yestu sarvani bhutani atmani eva anupashyati sarvabhuteshu chātmanam tato na vijugupsate. He says, who, however, sees all beings in Atman alone and sees Atman in all beings, he thence despises not. That means he does not despise anything. Tato na vijugupsate. He has done a good translation, and that thence is in English, which is Old English. That's how he uses it. Okay? So for this, Śaṅkarācārya, I will only read Shankara Bhaṣya here in English. Okay, he has translated this English Shankara Bhaṣya. He says that mendicant, here the word yaha, Śaṅkarācārya has taken as a mendicant, sannyasi. Okay, mendicant is, okay, that's what he says. Who wishes to be released? That means Mumukṣu. Okay, so a guy who is a Mumukṣu, who is to be released, sees anupashyati all beings from avyakta. Avyakta is the cause of the universe. The physical avyakta is the mula prakriti or something like that. That is the cause of this matter. Right? So all the way from the beginning, the cause of matter, down to the unmoving creatures. That is all this matter here. In Ātman alone. That is to say, does not see them as distinct. See, why does he say only about matter here? Because for Śaṅkarācārya, there is only one Jīvātman, right? So the mendicant who wishes to be released, who is a Mumukṣu, sees anupashyati all beings from the beginning, the cause of the universe, that is avyakta, which is the cause of matter, all the way down to the unmoving creatures here, which probably include all moving creatures also. That is to say, does not see them as distinct from Ātman. So he does not see anything distinct from Ātman. And in those very beings, sees Ātman. How does he see this Ātman? See, because we need to explain the process here. How does he see Ātman in everything? In the same way as I am the self of this body, right? I am the self of this body means what? Okay, I just have to check what he meant by this footnote here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I have to look into his book. No, that's not good. Don't worry. We'll get back to our stuff. Can you see my screen here? What do you see on my screen?
Yes, we are seeing that particular slide.
Same. Okay. Now, this, see, the same way as I am the self of this body, okay, this body is there, I am the self of this body, right? The aggregate of body and senses, I, the witness. That means, what am I, what is this body? This body is made of body, senses, and I, probably the ego, the witness, the seer of all the modifications. So what do I see? I see all the modifications of mind, conscious, alone, and attributeless. Right? So the thing is, this, who am I right now? I am just a witness. He refers here very clearly a verse from the Shvetashvatara Upaniṣad, which says, Sākṣī cheta kevalo nirguṇascha. Sākṣī means he's a witness. Cheta, that means I am watching all my mind moving around. Kevalaha, I am alone. Cheta is also consciousness. Kevala nirgunascha. Nirgunascha means attributeless. All attributes. Yesterday, what is that? Aditya ji asked that dharma, what is Nirguṇa means? Nirguṇa means just not, what do you call, all attributes. No attributes is Nirguṇa. Not just sattva, rajas, tamo gunas. No attributes whatsoever. That is Nirguṇa. Sometimes Śaṅkarācārya says sarva samsara dharma varjitam. That means gunas refers to all the samsaric gunas, samsaric dharmas, right? Anything related to this universe. But the thing is, he sometimes says sarva dharma varjitam, no attributes whatsoever. So that is what he is meaning here. It doesn't matter what he really means. If he says it is attributeless completely, Rāmānujācārya has a different view on it. And we have to understand what that is. Right? So this, let us assume that this means that sarva dharma varjitam, that means totally attributeless. That is this Ātma. That is the seeing witness. And like how that is inside my body, and in the same way, I should see I am, that is this very form of I myself, is also the I am, the self of all beings from the very beginning of Avyakta. Avyakta is the Prakriti. That means when the very beginning of, that is the cause of all these moving and unmoving creatures. So he who thus sees Ātman without specific features in all beings, that means Ātman is seen with no dharmas or features or attributes. In everything, he does not then, by virtue of that vision, despise, does not feel revulsion. Okay? Here, so thing is, only he sees Ātman only everywhere. He is not, he does not have, he despises nothing, because Ātman is always blissful. And even the blissful, he will not say much here. He doesn't want to say anything. The Ātman is Shuddha Mukta Buddha. Shuddha means pure. That's all it means for Śaṅkarācārya. And here, Mumukṣu is unintelligible. He writes in a footnote, if it is an enlightened person alone, he sees Ātman everywhere. If he is just a Mumukṣu who wishes to be released, he may not be mature, he may not be spiritually realized. So he didn't understand why Śaṅkarācārya refers it. That may be a problem with a manuscript somewhere. Okay, so let's leave it at that. Okay, now this Śaṅkarācārya's Bhaṣya continues in English. I'm saying this is only a restatement of what is itself already known. For all revulsion comes about to him who sees something base other than himself. That means for one who sees Ātman alone, absolutely pure, without anything interposing, there is no other thing which would be the cause or occasion for revulsion. Therefore, it is already known that by virtue of that knowledge alone, despises nothing. That means because only sees Ātman, if there is anything else, a foreign entity, he has to be afraid of. There is no foreign entity. Ātman is only one thing, that is his own self, and that self is the same self for the whole universe. So that's what he says. Here Ātman is nirvishesha. Nirvishesha means no attributes. So nirvishesha is more powerful than the word nirguna. Nirguna sometimes can give you confusion. Nirvishesha is pure. That means absolutely no attributes whatsoever. Here he says that Śaṅkarācārya refers this without any specific features, in as much as he cannot be classed with any of the objective categories such as substance, dravya, quality, guna, action, karma, inherence, samavaya or something, jati is genus, and species, something I don't remember exactly, genus and species. Species is also jati, genus is, I don't know exactly, guna or something. I don't know, there are specific, this particular citation, I didn't find time to figure out where it is actually. So, therefore, what it is, Nirvishesha means without any specific attributes whatsoever. That's the easiest way to understand it at this point. If Śaṅkarācārya has meant it in a different way, then Śaṅkarācārya is coming to Rāmānujācārya's territory. He is welcome. If he says that Brahman is without any attributes which refer to the universe, he may have some other attributes then. Something special beyond all the attributes of the world, of the universe. Then that is okay with Ramanuja Sampradaya. But what we have to assume is the common man and the common Advaiti and the modern Advaiti always believes that if he is attributeless, totally attributeless is what the common Advaiti understands. Okay? Now, let's go further. This is my grandfather's view. But we'll go back and first study the Sanskrit of Śaṅkarācārya, right? It's very powerful and we should not forget it. Before getting into the Rāmānujācārya's view or Viśiṣṭādvaita view, which my grandfather supports, we have to understand Shankara Bhaṣya better. So I just gave you the English knowledge or whatever the English people translated. That's what I'm telling you. But we go back to the original Sanskrit and explain it even more better so that you don't have any doubts. Okay, this is the, wait a minute. I did a mistake. Okay, there's not a mistake. I put this information in the next place. All I have to do is push it out here. This is the other one. 1 second. Okay, we will go now. Show this from current sets. Do you see the Sanskrit of Shankara Bhaṣya here?
Yes.
Can you see the Sanskrit?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So this is the verse 6 Shankara Bhaṣya. We re-understand it so that you clearly know what Śaṅkarācārya is saying. Right? Yastu parivrat is parivrajika, wandering mendicant. Mumukṣu, the person who wants moksha. Sarvāni bhūtāni abhyaktavadini sthavarantani atmanye manupashyati. He sees from the very cause of this universe, sees only in Ātman. Atma vyatiriktani na pashyati. That means he does not see them different from Ātman. Okay. Sarva bhuteshu teshveva cha atmanam teshamapi bhutanam swamatmanam atmatvena yatha. So he sees Ātman in every being also. So teshamapi bhutanam swamatmanam atmatvena. So thing is, how yathasya dehasya karyakarana sanghatasya. So this body has got actions and indriyas and everything all put together, right? The body has got all these indriyas and everything. Aham sarva pratyaya Sākṣī. I am the witness of all experiences. Bhutaha chetayita, consciousness. Kevalaha, that is alone, Nirguṇa, that is without any attributes. Anena iva swarupena, with the same form, I am also the self of this universe, starting from the very cause, abhyakta, all the way to the immovables. So and Sarvabhuteshu, in every being, he sees the same Nirvishesha Vastu, absolutely attributeless object. A Vastu, it's not an object. That is the self. Yastu anupashyati, and he sees. Sahatataha tasmadeva darshanatana vijugupsate. The very moment he sees only Ātman everywhere, he does not despise anyone. He does not, he gets disgusted with anyone, with anything. Prapta seva anuvadoyam. This is already known. It is restated here. Sarvahigna atma anyad dushtam pashyatha bhavati. If you see anything foreign to yourself, then you'll get wary and you get upset and you get disgusted. You don't see anybody. Atmanameva atyanta vishuddham nirantaram pashyataha. Pure Atma is only pure, and then you see that Ātman, Nirguṇa nimitta arthantaram asti. There is no reason, there is no cause for any getting disgusted with anything. There is nothing, there is no cause. So how can you get disgusted? Okay, this is again, we will come back to the next verse, which is the important verse. This is a critical verse of Ishavasya, where it can be taken in a very Advaitic way. And Śaṅkarācārya takes advantage of this and says this is where Advaita is established. So we need to understand his understanding, right? So far everything okay, right?
So it is only one Sākṣī, according to the verse 6.
Yes, there is one Sākṣī, and that is the same Sākṣī as the universal Sākṣī. Any other question there? Yeah, Benji, tell me.
Well, I think I'd understand this better if we take someone who in history who is reprehensible and explain how I'm supposed to consider them. Because if I'm supposed to ignore their bad behavior, then I see moral hazard. But let's just take Hitler, for instance, and take it through this process, how I'm supposed to consider someone like Hitler. If I'm supposed to just ignore their actions, their physical actions, or what? I just don't understand how to apply that. Thank you.
See, the thing is, assume that, we have to understand how Shankara views and how Rāmānujācārya views separately. You cannot mix them together. Okay. Whatever I said yesterday was more based on the Rāmānujācārya's idea of that theory, right? But now we are considering Shankara Bhaṣya, right? If you take that example of Hitler in the Shankara Bhaṣya, he sees even Hitler as only Ātma. The realized person sees Hitler as Ātma. So he doesn't care about anything. So he will say that, he sees everything. He has become Ātman. And his self is only Ātman, right? So when he sees Hitler and he sees lots of things he has done, then what does it mean to me? I don't care. Everybody has their view, and Hitler has his view, and I cannot see anything other than Ātman. Atma vyatiriktani na pashyati. That means even Hitler is included in Ātman only. Everything in this universe, from a worm to an aeroplane to a whale, it doesn't matter who. Everything is only Ātman. That's what he sees. If he sees that, so thing is, even this changes what you see. That is the Maya and all those things is somewhat related to Ātman. In fact, a pure devotee or a pure jñānī in the case of Śaṅkarācārya does not see much of this Maya anyway. All this will go away in his, and he can only see Ātman only. The bādha samanādhikaranya here. Bādha means what is? Everything gets sublated. The universal experience gets sublated into one Ātman view only.
Swami, you mean to say that he doesn't see Hitler and only sees Ātman, right? He doesn't see Hitler as Ātman.
see, in this Atma, see, this is a very difficult verse to understand even in Shankar Bhaṣya. In the previous verse, it is Atma Vyatiriktani na pashyati. Look at this. Okay, one more thing. Vainji and Aditya ji, wait till they come to the end of the shloka. The previous verse will be understood better. In the previous verse, there is a question of somebody seeing something and Hitler is seen and things like that. Here, nothing is seen. You wait and listen to what this verse says. Okay, this is the advanced stage of the aspirant, spiritual aspirant. You need to listen to the entire view of Shankara here. Okay. So, Atmaiva Abhut, everything that is, Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani Yasmin Kale Yethokta Atmaniva. Look at how Śaṅkarācārya understands the word Yasmin. Yasmin means Yasmin Kale, at that time, in whatever time. Or you can take it as Yethokta Atmaniva. So in Ātman, Yasmin means Atma, in Ātman, all entities, Tanyeva Bhutani Sarvani, all these entities, Paramartha Atma Darshanad Atmaiva Abhut. Very beautifully well put here. Because this person realized the true self, true Atman, Paramartha means absolute, truth. Everything became Atman. Atmaiva samvruttaha. Everything became Atman. That means Hitler became Atman, the tree became Atman, the sun became Atman, my body became Atman, everything became Atman. How? A person who sees, he sees something coiled up in dark, in less lighting. He sees something coiled up and moving and things like that. He thought it was a snake. But when he turned on the lights, it was just a piece of rope wiggling due to some winds and or fan nearby or something which was making, which was pushing that piece of rope, and the rope was just moving around because of the wind. But then he realized that there is no snake there. So what happened to snake? What happened to the snake? I'm asking all of you.
False knowledge was removed.
That's not what he says. Removed is one way of looking at it. Can anybody say what happened to the snake?
There was no snake. It was a rope.
There was no snake. It was a snake before due to ignorance, right?
Perceived as a snake, but it was a rope.
Yes. Perceive is what you know. You don't know what you don't perceive. At that time, it was a snake. Now, what happened to the snake?
Became a rope.
What?
It became a
I
rope.
can't
No.
hear you.
It became a rope.
Correct. Atmaiva Abhut. It became
no,
Ātman. So
No,
it
no,
became
no.
a rope. The rope
Swami,
is
the
the
rope-
truth. Atma is
the-
the truth.
Swami, the snake didn't become the rope. The perception of a snake became the perception of the rope.
That is what Śaṅkarācārya understands it that way. The snake became a rope. That's all.
No, but that's incorrect way to say it, right?
It doesn't matter what you think. Śaṅkarācārya says our whole thing is of perception. We perceive this multiplicity, the plurality, the ups and downs, the delusion, the sorrow. All these things are non-existent. It
I
was
can
never
ask-
there.
I want to clear something. Does it mean that Hitler was Atman and we perceived him as Hitler, and then he came back to Atman in the same logic
True.
of the snake?
A true jñānī will not perceive anything other than Ātman. So a true jñānī at that time, he only sees Ātman everywhere. Does not see Hitler, does not see anything. In fact, if you may ask, what if an enemy comes and chops off somebody's hands? It seems there is a, whether this is truly happened, we don't know. Very famous person, Sadashiva Brahmendra. There was a guy called Sadashiva Brahmendra in South India recently, which happened only in the last 400 years. And he is supposed to have written the Upaniṣad Bhaṣyas of 108 Upanishads. He wrote Bhaṣya or explanations. If I have to look at some weird Upanishad which is not the main Upanishad, like Mandala Brahmana Upanishad or some Dhyana Bindu Upanishad or Tejo Bindu Upanishad, I will have to look at this Sadashiva Brahmendra's commentary on it, right? So he's a great guy. It seems that he was walking and somebody got upset with him or something like that, and he took a sword and chopped off his right arm or something like that. Sadashiva Brahmendra went on walking happily without even knowing that the body was chopped. So why is he upset? He is not going to be upset with anybody. Hitler can bomb the hell out of anybody, any place. He says, okay, whatever you want to do, you do. I am Ātman. I am unbreakable. You cannot burn me. You cannot touch me. My body goes, it always goes. Body is supposed to go someday. And if you want to take it, take it. If somebody gets to that level of knowledge, that's fine. That's what Śaṅkarācārya says. That's what Parakaya Pravesha is about, right? That means he leaves his body and goes and sits in somebody's body for some time and comes back. So Parakaya Pravesha is possible for yogis. Many yogis have said that is possible. And Parakaya, in fact, they will tell their dear students whom they trust, not untrustworthy students, but very trustworthy students. They say, look, I am going to leave my body and go somewhere for a few years. Can you take care of my body? All you have to do is don't make sure nothing comes, tiger or somebody comes and does not eat me up or kill me or something. Leave my body alone. And they go ask the students to take care of the body and leave and go. And then, so the thing is, some of them, they are very rare occasions. They're not like normal occasions. Very rarely this has happened. Yogis are of that kind of yogis are there. So for such a person, it doesn't matter what Hitler does, Hitler doesn't do. We are looking from the Śaṅkarācārya's perspective here, okay? Not somebody else's perspective. Is that understandable? So here, Ātmaiva Abhūt means bādha. Bādha samanadikaranya. Bādha means what? Sublation. What does sublation mean? The rope, the snake was presumed. Somebody really felt that there is a snake. That it was moving around and they could not figure that it is anything but the snake, and this person was so upset and afraid, agitated, and then realized that the snake was replaced by rope. So snake was an illusion in the mind. It was replaced by the truth, that is rope. So this is bādha. Bādha means delete, replace. This is a very, so when somebody says the sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhut, all the beings became Ātman, that means the beings didn't exist anymore, only Atma alone exists. That is the way Śaṅkarācārya understands the Sanskrit here. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva abhut. Everything became Ātman. That means everything got deleted and only Atma exists. So this is more in your mind rather than in reality. In reality, there was only Ātman to start with. There was nothing beyond Ātman to start with. But due to ignorance, we perceived this multiplicity of this universe and all these things. We perceive all this variety in this universe. Actually, there is no variety. Only you will know when you are realized. then there is no. Okay, I will go further in this because you need to understand Shankara Bhaṣya properly here, right? So let us read this till the end of his Bhaṣya. Atmaiva samvrittaha paramartavastu vijanataha. So the guy who knows the truth, the absolute truth, tatra tasmin kale tatra atmaniva, in that time, during that time of realization, or during that in this Ātman, kaha mohaha kaha shokaha, where is delusion, where is sorrow? This is a a rhetorical question according to Śaṅkarācārya. Oh, where is it? Where is it? It was never there. So where is it? That kind of a question. Shokascha mohascha kamakarma bhijam ajanataha bhavati. What is the shoka and moha? Shoka, moha are the seeds of desire and action. Karma is action, kama is desire. Bija means seed. Ajanataha bhavati. The person who is ignorant will see all this. He feels the sorrow and he is deluded. But for the knowledgeable, they don't exist, right? Kamakarja bijam ajanata bhavati. Natu atmaikatvam vishuddham gaganopamam pashyataha. The one who sees oneness, Atmaikatvam, there's only one Ātman he sees, Vishuddham, which is pure, Gaganopamam, it is like the sky, who sees pure thing like a sky. These don't exist. Kaha mohaha, kaha shokaha iti, shoka moha yoho, avidya karya yoho, akshepena, asambhava, prakashanat sakaranasya samsarasya atyantameva uchchedaha pradarshito bhavati. Look at the power of Śaṅkarācārya Sanskrit here. He says, the very fact that the Upaniṣad itself is asking, oh, where is delusion, where is sorrow? The exclamation of that kind means these two become avidya karya. It is ignorance which has done all those things. Because of ignorance, I am seeing this multiplicity. Avidya karya yoho akshepena. He questions this very question of where is the delusion and sorrow. Asambhava prakashanat. That should never be existent to start with. Asambhava. It can never exist. Sakaranasya. Even the very root cause of all this multiplicity, sakaranasya samsarasya. So that is the samsara, which is this already spread out universe with billions of black holes and galaxies and everything running around here, right? And the very cause of that is ignorance. Because he questions that the very cause of it is non-existent. Atyantameva uchchedaha pradarshitaha. That means this person talks about chopping off that which never existed to start with. And that all this is just an appearance, illusion, and it goes away without a residue. It sublates, like how camphor burns and you see nothing is left behind. That is sublation. Do you understand what was said here? That is the bādha samanādhikarnya he is talking about. Bādha means samsara bādha. Samsara is replaced. It was never there to start with. It existed because of ignorance and it's gone. Okay. Now, we now go and come back to Sampatenga's view here. I have only 10 more minutes today because at 9 I have to stop. We'll go a little bit further. Okay, now how does Sampatenga looks at this? At least the verse, Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani Atmaiva Bhut Vijanataha Tatra Koshaka Ekatvam Anupashyata. This is the verse Sampathainkar now is going to explain in the Viśiṣṭādvaita Sampradaya view. This verse is interpreted to mean at the moment of surrender. Pranidha, Yasmin Pranidhana Samaye. The original verse is Pranidhana Samaya in Vedanta Deshika's Bhaṣya. That Pranidhana could be taken as actually Samadhi or total absorption, or it can be taken as surrender. Pranidhana is surrender also. So why is he talking about surrender? My grandfather says surrender is an inevitable part of the meditation processes. When meditation processes become very advanced, however yogi powerful the person is, he surrenders to the Lord because he is unable to win over Maya by his own efforts. So the surrender is everybody ends up surrendering to Paramātman. Even the bhakti yogi has to surrender. All yogis have to surrender. So he says, Pranidhana Samaye, all personalities become Ātman only. So everything, because of this surrender, he cannot think of anything else. Only power behind everything is Ātman. So they become Ātman in that sense. They become inseparable attributes of Ātman only. So everything else are only attributes of Ātman, in the sense that without Ātman they don't exist. They are apratak siddha visheshana. They cannot be thought of without Ātman. Like how sunlight does not exist without the sun. Everything is dependent on the sun. In that sense, all beings are dependent on Ātman only. And he sees only Ātman in everything. When the identity of all personalities with Ātman is understood and incessantly supersighted, incessantly means constantly visualized, constantly realized, constantly observed. In meditation, the verse asks, then where will there be delusion and grief? This verse provides the method for interpreting text about the identity in the Upanishads. The key principle is you should not think as there's only one thing, and oneness is organic, not absolute. That means one thing is that power of Paramātman is in everything, and the Paramātman is ruling everything. Without Paramātman, nothing exists. The absolute dependence and domination of this Ātman or Paramātman is what is said here. Not only for Ātman and everything gets deleted and destroyed and things like that. That's not the meaning of this. So you see the stark difference in interpretation here in the Viśiṣṭādvaita view. Is that clear?
Yeah, really, there's a totally marked difference.
Yes. Yes. So a Jīvātma realizes that he is unable to do anything. He is unable to hold. First of all, right now, he is not able to beat his own heart. The heart, if it stops, Jīvātma says, oh man, time's up, I got to live. Jīvātma has no power even to control the mind. Jīvātma has no. Can you believe that I have told this many times? I studied somewhere just to pick up a cup and drink water from this place to this place, just to drink. There are 2 or 3 million synapses in the brain which connects to make this happen. Do I design and will and say, okay, I'm going to take, synapses number 1, nerve number 1, connect to the nerve 8, nerve number 2, connect to nerve 9. I'm not saying anything. I'm not doing anything. It's happening for me. So you see that I am powerless and everything else is guided by a great power, which is Paramātman. When it becomes so important and so clear in your mind, you see nothing but Ātman. You see that as the only light, and everything else is dead, because dead in the sense that they are only enlivened, energized by one power. If you see that, that is the right sight. That is, then you are not denying yourself. In the one of the Shanti mantras of the Kena Upaniṣad, Mama Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranam Mastu Anirakaranam Mestu Yadatmani Nirate Ya Upanishadsu Te Dharmaha Te Mayi Santu. That is the introductory invocation in the Kena Upaniṣad. That is in the that is the invocation. I think in anyone. I think Samaveda or something. The invocation is common. See, Anirakaranam Astu. Let me not deny Brahman. Anirakaranam me astu. Let Brahman not deny me. If you look at the whole idea of the Vedas, this replacement kind of thing or bādha or sublation is not the meaning. God wants you to be here. God has a purpose for you. You're not deleted. Not any time. So this is the principle behind Viśiṣṭādvaita view of looking at the same verse. With this, we'll stop today's class because in 4-5 minutes, another class is going to take over of my bridge, and my bridge, the Zoom bridge, will not be available. So we have to stop here. Unless there is a burning question, I have 2-3 minutes for you.
Just one question. So, if we call attributes of Ātman, that means that is a collection. Those could be different, right?
What do you mean attributes of Ātman?
The collection of attributes, as it is mentioned in the slide. So, collection of attributes of the Ātman, attributes of Ātman. That means
everything becomes inseparable attributes of Ātman. This Ātman is Paramātman here. So everything becomes non-separable from Ātman. So he is the power. See here in the Viśiṣṭādvaita, this Ātman is not attributeless. Ātman is not attributeless. So Ātman can have all the power, glory and everything. And in fact, they ask, what do you call the previous verse, it says he controls the whole world, universe. Right? What do you call, where does that come? 1 second. I will check in the Ishavasya Upanishad where it comes. But thing is, he is omnipresent, omniscient, and everything is given. So he is not attributeless. This attributeless thing, how are you trying to understand? Just because that Shvetashvatara says Nirguṇa in once, are you going to take everything as attributeless? This is where we differ from the interpretation of Śaṅkarācārya here. That's why now we are going to go into the next phase, where how do you interpret texts which are one may say like this, Ismin Sarvai Tattvamasi, like that, right? That is you. And similar to all beings are Ātman only here. All beings became Ātman here, right? So you need to understand how to take this Advaita Shrutis. This is the Advaita Shruti, that which shows oneness. Bheda Shrutis, this is an Abheda Shruti, and Bheda Shruti is that which shows difference. And similarly, there are other kind of Ghataka Shrutis, and there are other kind of Shodhaka Vakyas. So there are different types of statements in the Upanishads and the Vedas. So we have to understand them properly. That is the whole subject in the next class. Okay. So far, everything okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Namaskar.
Was this a waste of time? Because I have told this before, right? All this I might have mentioned in the last few years, right?
Yes, but it was good.
It was pretty informative.
Okay then. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Namaskaram.
Namaskar.